Welcome back to WWE 2K24's Chatgpt taking over universe mode. This time around we are on the road to Summerslam. Gear up because the last episode, as per usual, wild and unpredictable, and this episode's about to be no different. I just want to say, all of you, thank you for sticking around. In case you forgot what's been going on lately or need a quick rundown, go check out the first episode for me explaining everything. And let's hope that things are a little more controlled this time around. As we know, the title changes have been quite frequent. Only a couple of people have been able to retain for months on end, with the world title being absolutely horrible, but that's alright. Let's get back into it. Kicking things off this week, we got Trish Stratus versus Beth Phoenix as the first introduced rivalry that Chatgpt has given us for the women's world title. And starting off, they are going at it right off the rip, beating the hell out of each other in their first encounter. Maybe some words were exchanged backstage, I don't know, possibly some disses to each other's hair. I don't know, maybe some women yelling at each other. I don't know what women like to discuss with each other and get mad at each other for, but I don't know anything. But anyway, in their first encounter, Trish Stratus manages to pick up the victory and solidify her status as the women's world champion. Beth Phoenix is going to have to come back with a lot more if she's going to have to challenge Trish, who has retained for months now. Moving things over to the tag title scene, the Steiner brothers were selected by Chatgpt to be the first challengers for the Creed brothers. I guess this is another bit of a messy division, if you will, as Brutus Creed tries to take out Rick with a cheap shot, but takes out the ref instead in their one-on-one match to start this bout. But ultimately, Rick Steiner switching things over in the momentum of the Steiner brothers, picking up the win over the Creeds. As I was mentioning before, the tag title division's been a bit of a mess since the Dudleys lost them a while back. Intercontinental Championship, Ilya Dragunov is the next to go against Kevin Owens. Now, Chatgpt has thrown a lot of damn good opposition for Kevin Owens, and he has beaten every single one of them. And this one, hey, it may be no different, but Ilya's a strong and tough son of a gun. And in their first encounter, Ilya manages to upset Kevin Owens, and Kevin not happy about it. Could this be things to come? Well, that remains to be seen. Boy, oh boy, it's everyone's favorite, the World Heavyweight Championship. Pretty much a brand new champion every single month. It's a bit of a mess. That's the biggest problem we have with this universe mode. But Cody Rhodes has to challenge Gunther, or sorry, vice versa. But Cody's got his work cut out for him, as Gunther was the inaugural World Heavyweight Champion once we started this, and he's coming back. He wants it back, but will Cody finally be the first person to actually defend their champion? Well, after suffering a loss already, it doesn't look good. ECW is here, and the challenger for Johnny Gargano will be Bronson Reed. Johnny Gargano's first challenger, being a very big and tough opponent, but as we see here, he had to take on Tony D'Angelo in his first match as the champion. So with that being said, he picks up the win, and post-match here, gets a bit of a surprise as he's celebrating his victory. That is right, Big Bronson Reed, his next big rival, will enter the ring to confront him and have a face-to-face. As we move over to SmackDown here, the United States Championship picture has been presented with its newest challenger. AJ Styles looks to take on Sheamus as Sheamus' next opponent. He's done a very good job to this point defending the title and being on top, asserting himself as, well, pretty well world champion status with the United States Championship, doing a hell of a job, like I said, with it. But in their first encounter, AJ Styles picks up the victory, asserting himself as the guy, because if we all know AJ Styles, he is him. He's a damn good wrestler at that. Post-match, AJ would continue to assert his dominance by stomping out Sheamus, receiving backlash. Rhea Ripley and Io Sky once again for the WWE Women's Championship. Rhea Ripley has had her shot once before, but in their first meeting, after a little bit time apart, Rhea attacks Io as she's making her entrance. Io doesn't take it lightly, stomping on her. Rhea kicks her out of the ring, taking down again. But if you guys would remember in the last time, Io managed to defeat Rhea Ripley as well as every other opponent she has faced. Io has been one of the most dominant champions in this series to this point. But in her first match against Rhea again, Rhea picks up the win via submission. Roman Reigns has his work cut out for him as Chatgpt determined the almighty Bobby Lashley to be his next opponent for him to defend the title against. In their first meeting, Bobby Lashley showed signs of great strength, going to pretty much whatever length he could to try to beat Roman, but ultimately would fall short after Roman gives him the good old spear, dogs him, picks up the win, but both men would be battered and bruised, both suffering some pain after this match. Clearly, they both speared the hell out of each other as they both cannot move their abdomens shot. But we'll see what comes next for both men. Week 2, starting with Monday Night Raw. Rick Steiner, Scott Steiner in tag team action. But before they could even get to their match, the Creed brothers come out to make yet another statement, assaulting them before the match. But it did not seem to fare too well, as the absolute suplex machines would be here, taking down the Viking Raiders without fail, picking up the win and solidifying their spot as the contenders for the tag team titles. Intercontinental Championship side of things, Kevin Owens set for one-on-one action against main event Mr. Yeet Jey Uso, but before the match could get started, Ilya comes down to check things out for himself on ringside, and Jey Uso took complete control of the entirety of this match, making Kevin Owens look silly. But before that could get over with, Kevin Owens starts to pick up his momentum again mid-match here, and as he's starting to get things back in his favor, in comes Ilya, making yet another statement, planting Kevin Owens, disqualifying the match before it can even end. Beth Phoenix set for one-on-one action as we move over to the women's division side of things on Monday Night Raw against Gigi Dolan, and honestly, Beth Phoenix just washed the floor with her, finished her real damn quick. Also, just wanted to know one quick PSA. There was supposed to be a rivalry action after that match had concluded, but Universe Mode was a bit glitchy this time around as I was recording, so I do apologize for that. Moving on to the World Heavyweight Championship side of things, Braun Breaker challenging Cody Rhodes to a one-on-one match tonight, but Gunther would have something for Cody before the match could get started, beating the living schnat out of Cody's ass. But before the match could start, security comes down, ref trying to break things up, they get Gunther out of here. Cody manages to continue having a stellar match as per usual, Braun Breaker doing his utmost. They both had a pretty good showing here, obviously. Cody would come out victorious. Crossroads, 1, 2, 3, and after the match, Gunther at the top of the ramp with some choice words. Cody, not gonna take that laying down. Gonna walk straight on over to Gunther, serve him a bit of payback. Oh my god, I can't speak. Serving a bit of payback to Gunther, beating him up in return as security breaks things up again. Moving over to ECW for week 2, 2-on-2 tag action was set between unlikely tag partners in Johnny Gargano and Bronson Reed. But before the match could get underway, Johnny and Bronson having a bit of disagreement as to who should be starting this match, as they just went face to face last week to determine everything. But as Johnny's circling the ring, Bronson does himself the favor, tags him in. Johnny showing even more frustration and says, you know what, forget this, forget you, go at it alone. Johnny leaves the ring to Bronson's own devices. Now he's got to take on Anderson and Ford by himself. My apologies, Gallows, holy crap, I don't know why I said Anderson. But anyway, The match would ultimately end in a draw as they shove the scuffle to the outside. Moving over to week 2 of SmackDown, we start things off with the United States Championship picture as AJ Styles and Sheamus yet again go one-on-one to cement this rivalry in stone. Sheamus would have the upper hand the entirety of the second encounter here. Ultimately though, AJ would bounce back, get some momentum in his favor, hit a Styles clash, and then a big knee to the back of the head, picking up the win. But post-match here, AJ had something else in mind as he strolls his way to the outside of the ring, hesitantly, looks back at Sheamus, nods his head, "Oh yeah, I got just the thing for you." Underneath the ring lies the newest stipulation he is forced to obtain for this match. A ladder match is what he is calling for. Planting Sheamus right smack dab on the face with it, picking him up for the body slam onto the ladder, and it looks like we got ourselves a ladder match at SummerSlam. Rhea Ripley going against Indy Hartwell in one-on-one action. Rhea Ripley ultimately dominating this performance as she normally would with her strong ass self, picking up a win over a roll-up victory. But post-match, Rhea celebrating, doesn't get too much time though, as here comes Io, boom, belt to the face. Io does not want to let go of this title anytime soon. To conclude matters on SmackDown Week 2, Bobby Lashley and Roman Reigns set to go one-on-one again, but the match couldn't even start as Roman Reigns would avoid his entrance, come in from the crowd to take out Bobby Lashley from behind. Things getting underway, Lashley getting planted, Superman punch, and then a spear to conclude matters here. As we enter the go-home week before SummerSlam, we kick things off on Monday Night Raw with Beth Phoenix and Trish Stratus going one-on-one one last time before the pay-per-view. And before the match started, Trish looks to take her own out here against Beth Phoenix, looking to get an early advantage, and it seemed to be working until the midway point of the match. Beth comes back, hits a massive spear, and then a bit of a submission glam slam alternative, but it worked. She picks up the win, and she has all the momentum in the world. We got tag team action as the Creed brothers looking to pick up another big win before their match at SummerSlam against the Steiners as they take on Pretty Deadly. Yas, boys. But nonetheless, this match was probably one of the best matches that we've seen on a Monday Night Raw in quite some time. Tremendous back and forth action from both very talented individuals and teams in general, pulling out all the stops against one another. Ultimately though, as this match progressed, Creed brothers looked to be in good contention, but it was not enough as they would lose to Pretty Deadly and lose a bit of momentum as they head into SummerSlam. Going back to the Intercontinental Championship picture, Kevin Owens and Ilya Dragunov set for another one-on-one match before SummerSlam. Before the match gets started though, Ilya gets taken out by the leg and Kevin Owens looking to do major brain damage to Ilya here. Ilya would however try to fight back, but ultimately Kevin Owens picks up a win. And I say quote unquote win because if you couldn't tell, there was no referee in that match. So once again, universe mode glitched out, so we'll just say Kevin Owens won. Cody Rhodes versus Sami Zayn one-on-one to conclude Monday Night Raw before SummerSlam. You already know this match was going to be fire. Two amazing technical wrestlers in the ring. Ultimately, you knew Cody Rhodes was not going to let momentum sway him down. Although Sami Zayn put up one hell of a fight, even taking a pedigree off a baseball bat to the face. Ultimately, Cody Rhodes continues his momentum, rolling right on through into SummerSlam. ECW, Johnny Gargano is gonna take on the superhero Hurricane in a one-on-one match before Summerslam. Johnny Gargano and Hurricane actually put on quite the stellar performance. It was awesome to witness. Johnny Gargano ended up taking control mid-match. Ultimately, you'd be surprised, the superhero came out victorious, taking down Johnny Gargano before his big title defense against Bronson Reed. Going into SmackDown before SummerSlam, Sheamus and Carmelo Hayes set for one-on-one action. This match, very underwhelming, very sad. Sheamus picks up a very quick and very sad victory over Carmelo, who had nothing to show for. Post-match, Sheamus celebrating his victory, but AJ Styles, ding dong, hello, how you doing? Smacking him around with a kendo stick, proving his point that he will soon be the man at SummerSlam. Io Sky set for one-on-one action against Alba Fire, but Rhea Ripley had other plans, attacking her as she entered the ring, looking to do insane amounts of damage, because as we all know, Io Sky is insane in this universe mode, yet to lose that damn title, holding on to it for quite some time. But Rhea Ripley would make a statement, knocking out Io. Look in my eyes, what do you see? It is CM Punk versus Roman Reigns in a one-on-one match to close out SmackDown before SummerSlam. And you best believe this match was an absolute banger. Two megastars, big-time superstars going toe-to-toe, leaving it all out in the ring. CM Punk wants to definitely prove a point because he knows he can be a big-time world champion, but it would not be today. Roman Reigns picking up another victory. Post-match, Bobby Lashley comes out to prove that he is the next man up. He is the champion to be. But will it be at SummerSlam? Coming up next.
And now, Raw, SmackDown, and ECW present WWE SummerSlam.
Kicking off SummerSlam with a United States Championship ladder match as we get underway. AJ Styles with a springboard DDT, Sheamus knocking AJ off the ladder, AJ grabbing the hanging Sheamus from the top, Sheamus planting AJ with a nasty DDT on the ladder, Sheamus once and for all knocking AJ down, claiming back his United States Championship as he retains. Intercontinental Championship match, Kevin Owens versus Ilya Dragunov. Dragunov looking to finally be the man to take down Kevin Owens where all others have failed. Now, getting into the match. Kevin Owens and Dragunov started this thing with a nice set of back and forth, even taking a frog splash to the outside and a big bomb over here. Then, Dragunov powers back, power bomb on the outside, big time uppercut there, and a dive back to the outside. Dragunov even with a big knee on a rebound, and the H-bomb. But it wasn't enough. He had to finish him once and for all with the power bomb. New Intercontinental Champion Ilya Dragunov. Creed Brothers versus the Steiner Brothers for the Tag Team Championships. Two teams in which are incredibly wrestling advanced in the ring. And as you could see here, incredible back and forth action. Both teams pulling out moves together, one-on-one. It did not matter. It was an absolute wrestling technical showcase. And it would come down to this move here. Steiner Driver picks up the win. And the Steiner Brothers are your new tag team champions. ECW Championship on the line in an Extreme Rules match. Johnny Gargano set to defend against Big Bronson Reed. And Johnny took pretty good control in the beginning of the match here. Hurricane Rana, diving dropkick, the back flip, and the massive super kick while Bronson's down on his knees. But it would be the bat shot that would be too much for Johnny, as Bronson takes control again, hanging him over the head with the shovel. And then Johnny comes back, puts him in the submission, but Bronson would not stay down for long, even using the baseball bat. But it was the diving attempt that would be his undoing, as the shovels to the head 3 times would give Johnny Gargano the win he needed to retain that ECW Championship. Women's World Title match. Beth Phoenix challenges Trish Stratus. And as we all know, Trish has been a phenomenal champion to this point, defending it every single chance she's had. But this time would be no easier. Beth Phoenix taking insane control through the entirety of this match. But midway through, Trish comes back, even managing to get the chick kick finisher and a sharpshooter off, the walls. But ultimately, Beth Phoenix comes back, hits the glam slam, and we have a new Women's World Champion. WWE Women's Championship on the line. Io Sky, probably, again, one of the most dominant champions to this point, defending against every opponent she's had. But if luck would have it, Trish lost hers tonight for the first time, so what will happen to Io? As we get into the match, Io had full control, as per usual when it comes to her championship title defenses. Rhea pulled out a few big boots, a few big power moves, but Io would hit the big moonsault off the top, picking up yet another championship title defense win. WWE Championship on the line. Roman Reigns defending against Bobby Lashley, as we swing into the action here. Roman with a big boot, drive by, and then looking for his first spear, denied by Lashley. He comes through with big time offense of his own, and then even getting a big spine buster there. But Roman comes back, even going to the top rope, which is somewhere he does not go often. Bobby comes back with his own top rope move, and then this huge DDT would be his undoing. Massive spear would not be enough. Superman punch, and then to top it off, one more spear to retain his WWE Championship. World Heavyweight Championship as the main event. Cody Rhodes looking to be the first person to actually successfully defend the title, but it's no easy feat as he's going up against Gunther, and this proves it right here. Gunther, big sidewalk slam, another suplex there, massive chop, taking complete control through the entirety of the match, but Cody makes a massive reversal. Even hitting a crossroads early, it was not enough. Going into his other bags of tricks, even hitting a back crossbody there. The super kick right there would be his undoing, as Cody Rhodes actually becomes the first person to successfully defend the World Heavyweight Championship.